All right, so let's take a look at some news articles. Um, this one here is from Canada Computer and Electronics, and what happened at this company is their website got hacked, which happens pretty often, and the attackers added code to the website, so anybody who put in their financial data and their address and stuff as a guest checkout, it sent an extra copy of the credit card to a third party, and this is a pretty common form of hacking. So it's a thing to be aware of. If you use a website and you enter shopping details, some people add malicious JavaScript to the page, so it sends an extra copy of the credit card somewhere else. And unfortunately, I don't think there's any way you can tell this has happened. It's just up to the merchant to notice it and clean up their site. That's why another reason why it's wise to always use a credit card and not a debit card when you shop, because credit cards will refund money if you get stolen from you. Debit cards usually won't. So Elon Musk is being investigated for child sexual abuse, which is a pretty serious crime. And the point is, Grok, his AI, will take images of people and remove their clothing, and even young people and remove their clothing. So as it generates that stuff, this is certainly a crime. So a pretty serious crime. And so Europe seems to be taking the lead in punishing him for this. They just raided the Twitter office in Paris to gather evidence and prosecute for this. And he tried to ignore it. Then he tried to just make it a paid feature. And then he claimed he had stopped it, and now when they test it, it still happens, which is something I expected because AIs are not really easy to control. Even if you tell them not to do something, sometimes they'll do it anyway. I've also seen reports saying that there are dozens of other apps on other platforms that do the same thing. They just haven't attracted much attention yet. But this scandal seems to be growing and growing. Now, WhatsApp is supposedly end-to-end encrypted. And there is a guy suing, claiming that they can see the messages, but if it's really end-to-end encrypted, then the company can't read the messages at all. They don't have the key. And however, if you were to download a video on WhatsApp and then play the video will be decrypted on your machine and then played in a video player. And a lot of video players had security problems. So it was a way to deliver malware to your machine. And so what they're doing is they're rewriting the video player in Rust. Now, we're going to cover this later in the class. You're going to use C and C well, maybe not in this class, actually, but in some of my classes, we do, in fact, compare C to Rust, and you see why it's more secure. But the main thing about Rust is that it handles memory very carefully, and it avoids memory corruption vulnerabilities like buffer overflows and several others, which are responsible for most of the security flaws in code. And more and more companies are beginning to use Rust in the most critical parts of their code. Probably gradually over the next several years, people will switch to writing things in Rust more and more. But it's slowly rolling out. Now, elements of the kernel of Windows and the kernel of Linux are being written in Rust, and so it's going to grow. Now it's WhatsApp too, so I think we'll see more and more of this. For several years, coders have said if they could choose the language to code in, the language they would most like to use is Rust, because Rust makes it very easy to write good code, and it has very helpful error messages, so if you're doing something wrong, you find out about it. Whereas in C, if you're doing something wrong, you usually can't tell and you ship the code and it gets out to the customer and then it turns out to have a flaw, which is much worse. Now, there was a big investment activity about 9 months ago when 2 or 3 of the major tech firms all made a deal to trade services with each other. Now, all of them are investing trillions in AI, which they don't have, so they promised to hand money from my company to you and your company to that one and back here. Just money would move around in a circle. So each one of them could claim they had an investment of all this money, but they actually passed the money on to another company, and they all claim that therefore they have a huge success in their product because they're bringing in all this money, but they aren't actually bringing in any money. And now NVIDIA, who has had one of these circular activities, has decided to not deliver their $100 billion to OpenAI. OpenAI is in serious financial trouble. This is what everyone I've been following has been predicting for a year. The entire United States economy is a giant bet on AI. If you remove AI, we're already deeply in recession. AI is holding it up, but it's all without a real product. It's just speculative investment pouring into AI to make it seem like you're rich and keep the stock market up. And NVIDIA now has decided not to deliver their money because they're in trouble, so their stock is falling, OpenAI stock is falling. And this is another of several disturbing signs just in the last week that the AI crash is probably coming. And here's another one. The staff is departing OpenAI because OpenAI is running out of money. Now, originally, OpenAI was all about pure research and developing these artificial general intelligence and superintelligence things and arguing about how we're going to save the world and how we're going to make this thing safe and all this cool science fiction stuff. But now they're canceling all that fundamental research and just focusing on ChatGPT to try to make a product they can sell to make some money. As their dreams of being rich and creating tons of wealth collapse, they have to focus more and more on doing things that will make money now, and the staff is departing because it's not so much fun to work there anymore. See how much of a hoop I have to jump through. Looks like not too much. All right, so this I'm sort of glad to see. I've read a lot of articles about people who get trapped in Teslas and die because they can't open the doors, because the doors are recessed, and apparently when the power fails, they won't open. Although my friend who drives electric cars says there is some way to get them, but I think what happens is people don't know that, and firemen don't know it, and so they can't get people out of the car in time to save them. Although what my friend also said is the firemen know how to smash the windows, and they would do that to get people out. But anyway, a lot of people think that these cool recessed door handles are unsafe, and China has now banned them, which may start a trend here. I think it would be a lot better if they banned them and stick to the old-fashioned doors you can find. I know for a while I used to drive rental cars to go to conferences, and every time I'd drive a rental car, I would have to pull over and pull out an iPad and Google to try to figure out how to drive the car, because they move all the controls around, they change everything, and that's really not smart, to senselessly rearrange all the buttons and controls and make them strange so people can't figure out how to drive a car. So a lot of people are getting free HIV drugs, but Florida feels like it's a waste of money. So they're canceling it. They've changed the rules to make you eligible for it. So now they've made it so this woman who needs HIV drugs, now that her income is $3,800 a month, they say that's too much to receive assistance, and her medicine costs $5,000 a month. So that's pretty ruthless and heartless, and this is very much in accordance with the Trump administration all around. They're canceling FEMA, so they won't help your state at all if there's a fire or an earthquake or something, and they're doubling people's health care premiums. That's already taken effect. They canceled the federal assistance for health care premiums, and in general, they just think we should be back in like 1940 or 1900, when the government didn't provide any form of social safety net for people. It was just up to you to take care of yourself, and you die if you don't make money to take care of yourself. That is an old-fashioned idea in America. Since the Great Depression and the New Deal, we have been a more socialist nation where we actually do have Social Security and Medicare and things like that that help take care of people. But the Republican Party under Trump is back to saying we shouldn't do any of that. We shouldn't help people at all. The rich should just get richer and the poor should just die, which is the way America used to be. But I really think they're going to find out in the election that this is not popular. Not too many people are willing to return to that ruthless capitalist point of view. So RFK Jr. is a lunatic that believes nothing but lies and conspiracy theories about medicine. He's now in charge of the Institute of Health. So he's pushing all sorts of dangerous, bad medical practices like ending vaccination, and he's also telling everybody to drink unpasteurized milk. So the general philosophy of the current government health facilities is to take us back into like the 1700s, before the germ theory of disease was understood. So they're just going to pretend that things like sanitation and vaccination and pasteurization are just not important because there's no such thing as germs. So, and if people do drink raw milk, which is unpasteurized, pregnant women are particularly at risk here. Something about them being pregnant makes them much more likely to get infected by, I think, listeria, and it's very likely to kill their baby, and also the mother, I think. And this has happened. So this is another one of the ridiculous preventable things that should have been extinct long ago because people now pasteurize their milk. But you can get raw milk if you want to, and people do because they believe lies about it. And then you get infected. And here's more of it. They're changing the vaccine advisors. They don't really care about efficacy. They don't care whether vaccines stop disease. They're going to focus on how much vaccines hurt people, which in general is nothing. But their whole point is to claim that vaccines hurt people more than they help people, which is an outrageous statement. I mean, we've ended tuberculosis and polio and COVID and the flu. There's so many vaccines that have saved so many people from misery. Well, we haven't ended COVID and the flu, but we helped them greatly with vaccination. And the vaccine, although there's a tiny chance that the vaccine will harm you, in each of these cases, it's vastly safer to take the vaccine than not to take the vaccine because the disease is so dangerous. But they don't believe that, and they don't believe in science. They just make up lies and make money by selling supplements and suing medical companies based on false data. So he's doing it to make money. He's doing it to put it in his pocket. By promoting junk science, they make money. That's all they care about. They don't care about all the people they kill with their lies. All right, so that's it for the